In the final, collapsing years of World War II, Japan unleashed one of the most extreme military strategies in history. Suicide pilots turned into human weapons. This documentary explores why the kamikaze were created, who these pilots really were, and what their missions changed. And honestly, what they failed to change, forever. By 1944, the Pacific War was no longer turning in Japan's favor. American forces were advancing island by island. Japan's navy was shattered. Fuel was, really scarce. Pilots were dying faster than they could be trained. Facing inevitable defeat, Japan made a desperate decision. They would turn pilots into weapons. They called it kamikaze, divine wind. Japan's war strategy relied on speed air power and naval dominance, but by late 1944, aircraft carriers were destroyed, experienced pilots were dead, industrial production had collapsed, and American fleets dominated the Pacific. Traditional warfare could no longer stop them. Japan needed something radical, something terrifying. The kamikaze units were officially formed in October 1944. Their mission was simple and final: crash your aircraft into enemy ships at full speed. Young pilots were trained for weeks, sometimes only days. Their planes were lightly armored, overloaded with explosives, and had no return fuel. This was not just a tactic, it was honestly a message. Most kamikaze pilots were, teenagers or men in their early 20s. They were university students and farm boys. Often they were pressured, not true volunteers. Before their missions, they wrote these farewell letters, they drank ceremonial sake, and they tied white headbands, which symbolized purity and death. Many pilots, honestly, did not want to die, but refusal meant dishonor and punishment for their families. Kamikaze strikes really peaked during the Battle of Okinawa. Over 7,000 Japanese pilots lost their lives, more than 30 United States ships were sunk, and hundreds more were damaged. Thousands of American sailors were killed. But, the strategy failed to stop the Allied advance. The cost was just enormous, and honestly, irreversible. Beyond all the physical damage, kamikaze attacks created a deep sense of fear. American sailors described constant air raid alarms, watching planes dive straight at them, and knowing the pilots would not pull away. It was warfare that ignored survival, and honestly, that made it terrifying. Despite all the destruction, kamikaze attacks did not halt the invasion, did not change the war's outcome, and actually weakened Japan even further. Japan had sacrificed its youth, for time it never gained. The kamikaze were not monsters. They were, in fact, victims of desperation, nationalism, and a collapsing empire. Their legacy remains, honestly, one of the most haunting chapters of World War II, where honor was weaponized and sacrifice was demanded until nothing remained.